This weekend is mission impossible for Blackburn Rovers as they take on Premier League bound Norwich City. Can we do what most of the Championship hasn't? Beat the Canaries at their own place? We'll take a little look next. That's right, folks, back once again with another match preview. This I'm looking forward to Blackburn Rovers taking on Norwich at their place, and we'll get to that in just 1 second. If you're new to the channel, smash your subscribe button and your bang of table things. Blackburn Rovers later, Championship play. Whoa, football, what are we going to do here? Ruski, that's right, folks, of course. Mission impossible for Tony. He's never beaten Farker before, but he's got the fourth time of asking, can he do it? Well, we'll find out in just a second. Of course, a big shout out to the VIP Band of Brothers. We're talking about the patrons supporting the channel behind the scenes. I do appreciate it, guys. Thank you for your continued support. But let's get into it, of course. Jump in the deep end and have a look at that, of course. The game itself, it does take place it is this Saturday. Normal kickoff for you guys. It's a little bit later for me because the clocks went back last week, so it's a little bit later on the day, closer to lunchtime. But I'll be there with the watch along. So if you're stuck for company, come on, join us. We might even have a Norwich fan on the stream as well. So come and check it out. But let's get into it then, folks. Of course, this match is at Carrow Road. We'll talk about that in a minute, of course. But these two sides played 37 games so far this season. On average, Norwich banging in around about 16 shots per match compared to Blackburn Rovers 14 on average. Both sides scoring about 1 goal a game. As for the discipline, of course, Rovers picking on average about 2 yellow cards per match. As for the Canaries, just the 1. As you trickle down the key stats here. Most of them are in favour of Norwich. The only one that's not is the aerial success rate, which goes in favour of Rovers, with 53% success rate of all our aerial duels that we get involved with. But to be honest with you, I don't think there's that many, if I'm completely fair with you. So it's a bit of a false stat. Because we don't really have any like our set pieces are a bag of crap. We hardly ever play the high ball for the corner. It's always a short corner, or for the most part it's a short corner. So yeah, it's a bit of a no stat really there. And as you can tell, pass success rate for Norwich, they are kicking ass and taking aims across the board. Of course, we are featuring quite high in these stats in the tables, which you'll see later. But to be honest with you, we were doing it wrong, so we need to up the ante. Of course, this is of course Norwich's stats at home compared to our away. Again, pretty similar sort of numbers. In particular, the shots, 17 for them when they played at Carrow Road, 15 for us on the road. They average around about 6 corners per match. We pick up around about 4 on the road as well. Our success rate in the air is still good compared to Norwich's. And again, possession and pass success rate go in favour of Norwich. So let's take a look at the goals then, shall we? Coming at you. Here we go. Yep, the Canaries picking up 55 goals this season compared to Rovers 49. 38 of theirs are come through open play. 6 set pieces, 3 counter-attacks, 7 penalties and 1 OG. As for Rovers, 35 of their 49 goals coming through open play. 4 set pieces, 6 counter-attacks, 4 penalties and no OGs. As you can see, shots per game ratios down here with around about 1.5 goals per game. They're on the cusps. If they end the result here emphatically, they could be on average around about 2 goals per game. As for Rovers, it's slowly dwindling. We were up there for the longest time, but right now it's not that good. As for goals conceded, just 26 goals conceded for Norwich, 41 from Rovers. 17 of their goals have conceded through open play, 27 by us. 8 set pieces we've conceded goals from, 6 for them. 4 penalties compared to their 3, and 1 counter-attack and 1 OG. And as you can see, they pick up around about 11.1 shots on average compared to about 11.8. And around about 1.1 goals per game conceded, so not great stats. Here are some other key figures for you. Of course, if you take a look at this top left-hand corner, this is where the possession is spread. Of course, Norwich is it is familiar. It is kind of a lot very similar sort of numbers. Maybe Mowbray's got Farker's blueprint, but anyway, 31% of all of Norwich's possession is in their own third, 42% in the middle third, and 28% in the opposition third. It's pretty much carbon copied here. Rovers 30% in their own third, 41 in the middle, and 28 further forward. But guess what? We're doing it all wrong. We're sitting in here. We're not really peppering these guys, and it's frustrating to watch. Meanwhile, as for the attacking avenues, 36% of all their attacking avenues coming down the left, 35 down the right, 29% in the middle. As for Rovers, is evenly split down the flanks, the right and left, both 38%, 24% of all of our possession coming down the middle. As for the shots, 57% of Norwich's shots coming in the 18-yard box, 38 long-range bad boys, and 6% in the Scrappy W area. As for Rovers, 4% in the Scrappy W area, 59% in the middle of the road, and 37% long-range sons of bitches. And of course, the shots coming for them on the 16% down the left, 14% down the right, and 7% down the middle. As for Rovers, 16% down the right, 20% down the left, and 64% down the middle. Of course, the top goal scorers is Timo Pukki. He's overtaken Armstrong, and he sits in there in second spot. He will be in the Premier League next season with Norwich, of course, unless something crazy goes on and he goes elsewhere. I think that's Buenda's got himself 10 goals. Of course, Campbell's got 5, and Hoygel's got himself 4. As for the discipline, 5 yellows for McLean and Gibson. Buenda's also got 5 and has Cantwell. Buenda's got a couple of red cards, and Adam Adar has 1 as well. As for Rovers, goal scorer from Armstrong, he's back in the first team. Of course, he was out for injury for about 2 or 3 matches. He did play against Bristol City, but unfortunately we didn't get any goals. Gallagher got 5, Iron Long, of course, Vamos, Braderton is in there, of course, with 5 goals, and Elliott's got 5 as well. As for the discipline, of course, Bradley Johnson and Darrell Lennon have 7 yellows to the name, 5 red yellows for Douglas and Rothwell, and Lenihan's the only man with a red card to his name. It's the tail of the tape then coming at you. Of course, played to show that 20 times since 1993, and Norwich have won 8 of those 20. Rovers picking up 5, and there's been 7 draws since 1993. Their biggest win was a 4-1 win. Our biggest win over them was a 3-0 win, and they've scored 32 goals against us compared to our 31. As for average goals, they pick up around about 1.60 goals against us, 1.55 we score against them. And as you can see, they've got 100% form right now, sitting pretty at the top of the table. As for Rovers, we've been pretty shitty, 42% form rate, which is, you know, it's better than it has been. A lot of draws. People are saying, well, maybe I should wait to talk about this, but people are saying this could be, if there's any time to fire a manager, it will be just before the international break, and this is prior to the international break, so it could very well be Tony Moby's last game. It could be. I'm not saying it will be. For me, I'm still on the fence. I think we could still ride out the campaign. If he was to get a result here against Norwich, a draw would keep us on tally, I think, for an equal to maybe just better points average. But again, he'll be walking on eggshells, walking on glass for the next few games to try and keep up with the games that I do anticipate him to win. Because if he slips up one more time, then of course the points tally that he needs to achieve to better last season is going to be mission impossible. So anything if he gets more than a defeat in this match, then I would say stick around, and you know what, we could still beat the points tally in the end. Of course, the match does take place right here at Carrow Road. That's right. Of course, over time, these two sides have played each other more than what I did mention earlier since 1993. 46 in total, 15 wins for Norwich, 19 wins for Rovers, 12 draws as well. Mowbray's record against Farker is not good. He's played against him in the dugouts, of course, 3 times, and he's lost all of them, picking up a 0 points per match sort of number. As for his record against Norwich in all avenues, when he was manager of West Brom, Middlesbrough, Coventry, he's beaten them 3 times, losing 5 and drawing 2, picking up a 1.10 points per match against Norwich. Of course, there are no fans in the stands, but yeah, a Premier League team in waiting. Of course, these are starting lineups coming at you. Of course, start with the hosts. They're going with the 4-2-3-1, which they've been playing with for the most part of the season, if not all of it. Cool between the sticks. Is he going to the Euros? You just don't know. Gananolis on the left back for them. Gibson, Hanley, of course, ex-Rover there. Max Aaron's at right back. Will probably be playing at. Will he be playing at the Premier League with Norwich, or will he be going elsewhere? McLean and Skipper, the defensive midfielders, with Buenda pulling the strings alongside Dow, Cantwell, and Pukki up top. As for Rovers, I don't know, but I'm going to go with this lineup. It is pretty much the same, if not the same, that drew with Bristol City. We've got Kaminsky between the sticks. I was not impressed with Douglas. I thought he was abysmal last time around, especially with the reputation he comes with. He's kind of, I don't know, you're expecting a Rolls Royce and you get a Skoda pitching up. He's not been delivering it, but I'm you know what, he does deliver a good game every now and again, and I'm hoping against better opposition in the shape of Norwich that he will stand up and be counted. Lennon alongside him, of course, Howard Bellis and Ranky Costello. For me, maybe Nyambe, maybe use Ranky Costello as more of a substitute. I probably will have Nyambe in there, but I'm going to go with this one. Of course, the midfield trio, of course, no Dak out for the long term. You might see a bit more of a defensive approach here. You might see the likes of Buckley start. You might see the likes of maybe even Corey Evans get a go, but of course Rothwell, Johnson and Holtby get it for me. A bit more creativity in there. Johnson against his former club with a thunder bastard waiting in the wings. And then up top we've got Brereton, of course, Vamos on the left hand side, Elliott on the right, Armstrong down the middle. A lot of people will call for Dolan on this one, but I think he'll get embarrassed by the big boys of Gibson and Hanley, who will just manhandle him, because they are, they're decent centre backs there. They ain't no slouches. They're not like 40-year-old or 38-year-old veterans that can be ambushed by his trickery. These guys guys are experienced guys, and they'll know what to expect from the tornado that is Tyrese. He's a good substitute player for me for this game. Definitely not a starter. As for the record against these two sides, of course, in recent years, the last 6 is 5 wins for Norwich, nothing for Rovers. That is both home and away. The only positive was a draw, and that draw was all the way back in 2017 in March, around about this time a couple of years ago. It was a 2-2 draw. Cameron Jerome with the brace. Lucas Jow, of course, for Rovers back in the day. Mitchell Dix on the score sheet, of course. But last time around, Norwich was a 2-1 win back in April 2019. Stephen Moran and Varanic on score with Travis with a late goal. A consolation for Rovers. And of course, this season we played at Ewood Park. It was a 2-1 win for Norwich. Let's take a look at the record at Carrow Road only, the last 6. Again, without a win in 6, so it's been a while. It's been a bloody while. I wish I had the numbers of when we last beat them. But even going back to 2001, we haven't beaten them. So it's been a bloody while. Yes, indeed. A lot of draws back here, though. A lot of draws. We've actually drawn 4 of the past 6, so it's not that bad. Let's take a look at the situation at the table. Of course, both home and the grand scheme of things here. Of course, Norwich flying high here. Just the 1 defeat at home this season compared to Rovers' 10 defeats on the road. It's not really been a good season. It's been a terrible season, and we can all admit that. We just want it to be done with and see where we go, because it could be a new manager. It looks like a whole facelift of the Rovers this summer. It'll be interesting to see who makes the grade from the under 23s. It's a very, very interesting time for Blackburn Rovers. Well, right here, I've just got to get through these next 9 or 10 games. Anyway, let's take a look at the records heading into this one. Of course, Norwich coming to this on the back of a Brazilian game winning run, beating Nottingham Forest on the road last time around. Also, Sheffield Wednesday back-to-back home away wins there. Of course, also beating Luton and Brentford, and back-to-back home wins as well. And then also beat Wycombe Wanderers. They're due a defeat. That's all I can say. They're due a defeat. Can we be the one that to beat us? As for Rovers, of course, we have not been great. We have been losing narrow games. Of course, Brentford was a shitstorm. Of course, Dak taken out a very sloppy penalty there. The Swansea game was good. I thought we could have done more to win that game. Again, another sloppy penalty which cost us there. Millwall did win. Reading was shit, a bag of bones, and Bristol City was also Danny Dyer as well. So they're the narrow margins if we could take any positives out of those defeats. But we are due an upset. We are due a performance. We are due a something. But we've been due that since November. So a long time. Of course, the form both home and away here. Rovers, of course, 2 wins of the past 6 on the road. Not great. As for Norwich, their home form, and there is a draw in there. There is a draw, and I'll take a draw all day long. I take a ball 0-0 as well. But they don't concede many goals. Just one goal conceded out of the last 6 at Carrow. That was against Stoke. But there won't be any fans, so let's just pretend it's Ewood and see what we do. This is their journey so far. They did start the season in pretty woeful form. They are the solid ball here. After match number 4, they were down into 16th. You know what? Impatience could have cost Farker his job at that point. But no, they stuck with them. They believed in the system. They had a bit of a dip as well, back down to 7th. But since around about match day number 10, it's been home and hosed, really. Just ploughing on through. As for Rovers, started off great into the 6th, dipped, made a little bit of a resurgence, made it more of a resurgence. This is around about October, November time, and then it all went. In fact, we climbed up here. We were on the cusps here. This was in January, of course, when we went the month unbeaten. Of course, Moby was up for manager of the month that went. But then, of course, February was disgusting, and March has not been great either. Let's take a look at the home form here. Of course, Norwich sit on top of the table alongside Barnsley, but of course, Norwich are your kingpins supreme, 6 out of 6 for them. Rovers are down to 60th. We've climbed the table at long last. Just 2 defeats in the past 6 games, which is good, but not winning many games. Of course, as for the home form, we're not fussed about Rovers. Their home form is woeful, down in 22nd. Haven't won it in 6 at home. Norwich, of course, like I said, 1 draw out of the past 6. That's the only positive we can take out of that. The away form for Rovers is, where are we? In 14th. So, 2 wins at the past 6. 8-2 shabby, but it's not stellar either. Let's take a look at what's going to happen at the end of this one. Of course, international break again. Mowbray might be on his way. We just don't know. If it is, then it's going to be chaos. As for the pending fixtures coming up, of course, the old Easter fixtures, of course, on Good Friday or Easter Friday, or whatever they want to call it. Norwich take on Preston. Then they follow that up on it's supposed to be on Easter Monday, but they have a bit of a extra Brucey bonus as they play on Tuesday, taking on Huddersfield again at Carrow Road. That's Derby for them on the road, and then Bournemouth at home, and then Watford. A couple of little Bobby Dazzlers there for them. As for Rovers, on Easter Friday, Good Friday, whatever it is, well, of course, we take on Wycombe, must-win game. Then we take on Bournemouth, must-win game. Difficult game, but must-win game. And then we have Cardiff away. I think that's another difficult one. And then it's a Derby and Sheffield Wednesday too. Realistically, not including this Norwich game, but we need to win 4 out of that next 5. And to be fair, if we can go unbeaten in that 5, then you know what, Mowbray, you're going to get an extension to your contract. That's what I think. But that's just a little bit of what I've had to say. What about DigiCast? What has she got under her sleeve? Take it away, Digi, and give me a pick. Meanwhile, what's been going on social media? If you hop over to the beatrfcs.com forum, you'll have a look at the match preview for Norwich. It's kicked off by Herbie here. Herbie6590 just says, "Oh lordy," because we know what we're up against here. This is we are climbing Kilimanjaro with toothpicks. That's right. We are going to be challenging this son of a gun with everything against us. The wind will be against us. The pitch will be against us. The players will be against. Everything's against us. It'll be pissing in the wind big time. But hopefully we can find a little bit of magic, a little bit of a cheeky arse flick, whatever it is, whatever it takes to get over the line. But anyway, let's have a look at some of these posts here. Says, "I was thinking that we could do with a break away from Ewood. Our trip to Millwall didn't do us any harm." And I remember who our opponents are. Pookie to have a fielder, Kimiski to wonder what he's doing here, Armstrong and Nyambi dreaming of pastures new, lone players looking forward to returning to the parent clubs, Douglas to miss control and make a horror back pass or two, hoping to get injured, Dolan to come on the last 10 minutes to give us a little bit of pointless life. I'm seriously contemplating doing something else on Saturday afternoon, but I know I won't because I've been there before. I'll sit, watch and suffer like the rest of us, but at least beer is involved. Tells you everything you need to know about our season and the feelings of the sport that this thread was just up 10 minutes ago. DC said, "No excuses. I think I'll dig out a garden fence post while this is going on. Could be our heaviest defeat for a while." Let's see if any of the meaty ones here. Windy Miller said, "Hypothetical, I know, but does anyone think if we got an absolute trouncing it would make any difference whatsoever? If I thought it would, I would happily take a 6 or 7-0 defeat. Yes, I'm at that point. However, I honestly think we could suffer the heaviest league defeat in history and he'd still be getting we'd still be at Brock on Monday morning. I'll pay a tenner as usual, watch, get angry, shout, the dog will go and hide, and then I'll be back here moaning about it as usual. I feel like Bill Murray. Go on then, I'll bite. 3-1 to Norwich." He says, Simon Garner's 1-4. "Meat pie, sausage roll, Cobber Rovers, try and score a goal. Battered," he says. 1864 Rover says, "Gardening for me, not wasting a tenner. Might watch the Dead Rubber England rugby match, then save it a glass or two before Anden Deck. The voice and some additional boring as crap TV." He says 3-0 Norwich. 1-0 Rovers win, an outpouring of tone love on Twitter, and then a new 3-year contract. You know what, Hoochie Bloochie Mama, you just don't know. We'll get shown up here. Feels like Pookie loves a goal past us. A bit of a pasting on the cards. 3-0. What's this? Let's look at this. This is Mesh. He shows 2-1 after a defeat against Bolton. Walk away. Keen resignation came a week after this, a day before the Charlton away. What am I looking at here? Make of that what you will. Although of the sackings, only half of them followed a defeat. Only half of them followed a defeat. My own feelings is that hammering wouldn't make a blind bit of difference because Mowbray and Waggett's excuses are still washing with the Venkies. I don't know what you're highlighting there, but it's there for you to see. Anyway, that's what's going on the BRFC. It's still early. It's barely an hour old, this thread, and it's going to get lively before kickoff. I'm sure. Check it all out, especially if you're a Norwich fan. You want to have a little laugh because we're our own worst enemy at the moment. Of course, take a look at the rest of the championship as a whole. Of course, some of our names, or our name is in here, a lot of these stats, but it flatters to deceive. Of course, we're the third best possession-based team in the championship, 55.9% possession per game. But guess what? We do little with the ball. Well, you think we do little with the ball. We have a 13.6 shots per game ratio as well. But of course, top of the table is Norwich on both of those, possession and shots. They're also the best with pass accuracy. And it's not by fractions. Norwich are top in all three of those, possession, shots and pass, by a quite considerable difference. They are the best team in the land. We are playing the worst football we've seen in a while. Well, it's not really worst football. We have a lot of the ball. We do see a lot of it, but we are quite blunt when it comes to the final third and trying to put the ball. Real decent efforts. Why don't you have your midfielders have a go? Don't always. And I know we just try to do a 6 or 7 extra passes per move, and it starts to frustrate me. Anyway, let's take a look at what else is going on in the Championship this weekend. Of course, it all kicks off on Saturday. The early kick-off, Brentford up against Forest. Then it's Stoke Derby alongside Bristol City against Rotherham. Coventry against Wickham, 6-pointer right there. Preston against Luton, mid-table crunch clash. Watford against Birmingham. New manager bounce there. Bowyer on the road. Watford need the win. Millwall against Middlesbrough. If they need wins as well, if they want a gate crash, the top 6. Barnsley, of course, kicking ass and taking a bit of a Yorkshire affair there. Reading is QPR on form. Reading also on the wane. And, of course, it's the Welsh one. The Welsh Wonders kicking off on Saturday. Late kick-off. Swansea against Cardiff. The table looks like this as you look. Of course, Norwich are 10 points clear of Watford. They are even more than that. They're 13 points clear of Swansea. So they're home and host. Just 5 defeats all season. Rovers are down to 15th, but a win for their skirts could go up to 14th. And you just don't know. You might. I'm looking at right now is get 10th, and then we'll talk about the rest. Wickham, Sheffield Wednesday, and Rotherham going down as it stands. Rotherham have games in hand. They've got 4 games in hand on Birmingham. They've got 3 games in hand on Coventry and the chasing pack. So their salvation is in their own hands down the table. Of course, top goal scorer is Ivan Toney by a country bloody mile. Pookie's up there as well with 22 goals. Armstrong's up there with 19. I've just had a chat with a West Ham fan about Armstrong and the potential of him going to the Hammers. I gave him the best that I could give, but ultimately, I said his head's been turned. He's not been the same player since January. And then, of course, Lucas Chow's up there as well. Matey Boy's in there as well, Buenda. So 2 of the top 10 goal scorers are Canaries. As for the key assist makers, Buenda's up there as well. Elliott's also in the top 5, alongside Tony and Mbembo and Olise. That's pretty much all I've got for you today, folks. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, smash the old thumbs up. And if you're new, smash your subscribe and get your bang update all things Blackburn Rovers latest Championship late. Well, football here on the Walrooski. That's right, folks. We will be live for the watch along for Norwich against Rovers on Saturday. Come stop by if you're lonely, or just come stop by to point and laugh and just have a go. Bit of football banter. I'm there to be made a fun out of, because this could be embarrassing, and I might lose it. Tomorrow. I've been Mowbray in, and I have a video on the channel about these stats and figures and the points per game needed by Mowbray to just better, because all I say is better last season's tally, and you know what, you'll win me over. You'll win me over with your charm and your rich tea biscuits and all that kind of stuff. You'll win me over with that. But this one, it was meant to be a free hit, and it still kind of technically is a free hit. But if we somehow get a draw or more, Mowbray goes into the plus points. He starts to strengthen his case. But a defeat kind of will leave us scrambling here. 2 points adrift. 1 point adrift. With 1 point adrift, the tally 1.84 points per game needed for Mowbray to better his points tally. That's all the thing. But like I said, a lot of people discussing that this could be the moment. If the Venkies, if Wagger, if anybody has got any balls or any belief about it's not going well and we need to do something, it would be after this. After this, there's no other chat. The only opportunity will be to revisit at the end of the season. So this is good. This could be big. This could be mega. Anyway, we'll talk all about that if and when it does happen. But until then, though, make sure you give the video some smash your thumbs up, smash subscribe. I'll see you all next time. Till then, watch along. See you then. Ciao.